This game should be at Beaver Stadium. It'd be sold out in less than a second. Half Steelers fans, half Eagles fans would be absolutely incredible. 110,000 people. I get like goosebumps even just thinking about it.
You're tuned in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, guiding your gridiron journey, none other than your host, former NFL lineman, Ross Tucker.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's not just any Ross Tucker Football Podcast. I would never do that to you guys, especially not on a Finish Strong Friday, a Picks Friday, a Winners Friday edition of the mighty RTFP. I'm Ross Tucker, former NFL offensive lineman, 5 teams, 7 years. Those of you that check us out on YouTube can see that, youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL. Got a bunch of shows. I know most of you know that. College Draft comes out on Monday, talking college football, the best prospects, making bets against the spread. Tuesday's the Even Money Betting Podcast. Steve Fezzik and I both up 30 units again. Highly recommend you if you're into betting or even curious about it. The Even Money Betting Podcast. Fantasy Feast Wednesday and Thursday. This show, Ross Tucker Football Podcast, is daily, Monday through Friday. And on Fridays, I give you my picks for each and every game after I give the recap of last night's game, Niners and the Rams. I also will announce the winners because I love those of you that go the extra mile later on in the show. And I'm going to finish this show strong, finish this week strong, just like I want each and every one of you to do for the work week. So you can love watching the Army-Navy game and the NFL games over the weekend. Let's get right into it. It's Big Show time.
The Big Show.
I can't say that I was expecting 0 total touchdowns on Thursday Night Football when Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay got together, but that is exactly what ended up happening as the Rams won 12-6. Listen, they were just tougher. Now, I will say part of the reason why there was no touchdowns was the weather, but that wasn't all of it. I mean, neither team could throw the ball very well at all. Purdy had a bad pick late, which really hurt the Niners. Stafford had maybe the biggest play of the game on the bomb to Puka Nacua. I just thought the Rams were tougher. They ran it better with Kyren Williams. They really controlled the action and the ball pretty much the entire second half. It felt like the Rams had the ball. They had to have won the time of possession. Kyren Williams, love everything he does as a blocker. And thank you very much, by the way, to Chris Shula for rushing 5 on the Hail Mary to end the game. We've been waiting for someone to do that. The Rams very much alive with their playoff hopes, and hard to believe it, but the Niners are done.
Want to know which team is going to win every single game on Sunday? Then listen up.
All right, Ross, we're going to start our first game being the Dallas Cowboys, who are at the Carolina Panthers.
Forgot to mention, by the way, Jack, the Big Show, my recap of Thursday Night Football, that was, of course, presented. Everybody already knows, so I don't need to say it. But actually, I do need to say it because they're paying for it. The Thursday night recap I just did, that was presented by Labatt Blue Light. Drink some Labatt Blue Lights with your friends and live life to the power of we. Always enjoy responsibly. Beer, Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. All right, what game?
Dallas Cowboys at the Panthers.
I like Carolina. I like the way they've been playing as of late. You know, Overshone is banged up for the Cowboys. It's so sad to me that he might not even play next year. Just awful. Absolutely, absolutely awful. So anyway, I like the Panthers to win the game. I think the Cowboys thought that they still really had a chance. They seemed very distraught after that game. I think they thought they were going to win out, and if they won out, still make the playoffs. I appreciate their confidence with Cooper Rush, thinking that they were going to win out. Obviously, that did not happen. And so I think there's going to be a little bit of a letdown from the Cowboys here, and even just not having overshown hurts quite a bit. Let's go Carolina to get their first win in a while. They've been knocking on the door. This time they knock it down. I think Carolina, I don't think there's a ton of points in this one. Maybe 23-20 Panthers.
Next, we got the Kansas City Chiefs, who are at the Cleveland Browns.
So I definitely think that the Chiefs are going to lose another game this year. I'm not sure I can pick this to be the one. Wouldn't be surprised at all. You know, Jameis is like one of those guys, kind of like when I say that Matthew Stafford and the Rams have a puncher's chance. Jameis is one of those guys that any game he plays in, there's a chance he goes off and his team wins as a result. And maybe that happens against the Chiefs defense that hasn't quite been the same, not playing at the same level. But again, when I make these picks, I make them based on what I would do if I was putting money on the game, or I recommend to you guys if you're putting, like, it's like what I think is the most likely scenario. These are not guesses. These are my best guesses, I guess you would say. So I think the Browns find a way to lose at the end. Mahomes finds a way to win at the end. That's the most likely scenario. I don't know, like every other Chiefs game this year, 20-17, I guess.
Next up, a sneakily good game you mentioned on yesterday's show, the Miami Dolphins at the Houston Texans.
Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins need to win out for a shot. Miami Dolphins need to win out, and they need to root real hard for the Colts to beat the Broncos, which is interesting because the Dolphins are kind of, chasing the Colts too for that last wild card spot, but they need the Broncos to lose. Man, this is a game I could go either way on, Jack. The Texans don't have Alshire with the suspension. Jalen Petrie, we just found out yesterday, is officially done for the season with that torn pec. That's a huge loss. So now the Texans are down 2 defenders at the second level, which is the level that the Dolphins attack often. That said, Texans coming off the bye, Texans playing at home. Can you tell I'm going back and forth right now, Jack? And I'm not sure who I want to pick. I'm hemming and hawing. Gosh darn it. I'm going to take the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are playing better. I think they know they need to win out. I think those guys missing for the Texans are significant. So I think it's a fun game. I think the Dolphins win 24-23. That's an upset.
Ross's Underdog of the Week.
Next up, the New York Jets are at the Jacksonville Jaguars in one of the games this week.
In one of the games this week. I love it. By the way, one of our listeners, Russell Gutierrez, I don't know if you saw the emailed ross@rosstucker.com. He said, I got something I bet you Jack doesn't know, which is that the Eagles and Steelers, were you going to say this later?
No, I wasn't even going to bring it up because I don't know if they wanted to be public, but I did know, and I know they were blue. I know it's because of World War II. I don't know if that's just because I'm a history nut or because I'm an Eagles fan, but I knew about that.
Wait. The uniform was blue?
I knew their color was blue. I don't know if the uniforms, I forget if it was like there was a shortage because of World War II. It was like mixed match, but I do know the logo was blue because I think it was the yellow and green.
I didn't know. I don't know that I've seen the logo. I just knew during World War II that the Eagles and Steelers combined for the Steagles, which, where'd they play their home game? I have so many questions.
That I don't know.
In Harrisburg? I got a lot of questions. At any rate, let's go. I'll take the Jets to win the game. I don't know why. I mean, I'll take the Jets because they got to win one of these at some point, right? These are both bad teams. I'm not picking Mac Jones over Aaron Rodgers, especially with the way Aaron Rodgers played last week. So I'll take the Jets to finally win one of these games late. I don't know. Same score I picked for all of them, I guess. I'll switch it up for you. 21-20 Jets.
Next up, the Washington Commanders are at the New Orleans Saints.
Still don't know who the Saints quarterback is, huh? They're like competing during the week of practice, Hayner and Rattler. Let me just tell you, you got two quarterbacks competing to see who the starter is during practice during the week. That's not a great look. And by the way, I don't believe that for a second. I believe that, deep down, Darren Rizzi has a very good feel for who he wants to be the quarterback this week, but he's at least acting like there's a competition and they'll see how the guys perform. What you really don't want, though, is you don't want both guys only getting half the reps. You want to get whoever you're going to go with, you want to get him as many reps as possible so he's in the best position to succeed. At any rate, it's a long-winded way of me saying I'll be taking the Commanders in this game. They're fresh, coming off a bye. Their last game, they rolled over the Titans. And I think that they're ready to, finish this season strong and have a chance to win a playoff game or two. Oh, I got to give a score. Saints defense has been decent, I would say. I would say 23-17 Commanders.
Next up, we got the Baltimore Ravens at the New York Giants.
Wow. I only look at the spread when I'm talking to you guys here on Ross Tucker Football Podcast, just so I can see, whether or not it's an upset or not. The Ravens are 16-point favorites. Jack, you just don't see that in the NFL. And the Giants are starting Tommy DeVito because Drew Lock suffered an injury, running all over the place in the last game. Clearly, I think the Ravens win. I guess the question is, how much do they win by? Of course, when I made this Bet on Even Money podcast, I didn't realize it would be DeVito instead of Drew Lock. That's not good. I think the Ravens take care of business. I think it's probably 27-13, Baltimore. That'd be your good survivor pick if you're still in a survivor league and you haven't used the Ravens yet. Good luck with that.
Cincinnati Bengals at the Tennessee Titans.
So, this is an interesting game because it feels like the Bengals have a little bit of mojo here, at least on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know how you pick the Titans to win. We talked about that with John Daigle on the Fantasy Feast podcast, but it felt like that last play of the first half, Will Levis re-injured his shoulder, the AC joint, and he got the pain-killing injection. He played in the second half, but John Daigle on Fantasy Feast made a good point about the throws that he missed. We'll see if that affects him this week and how he performs, but hard to pick Will Levis and the Titans over the Bengals right now, just by how well Burrow and Chase Brown and, obviously Jamar Chase are playing. I'll say 27-20 Bengals, same score as they had Monday night against the Cowboys.
Next up is a game you might know a thing or two about, with the Patriots traveling to Arizona to play Cardinals.
That's right. I will be calling that one on Sunday. Looking forward to seeing Drake May up close and personal. Get a chance to meet Drake for the first time tomorrow. That might have been one of my most viral Instagram posts ever, by the way, at Ross Tucker NFL, when Drake had so much stuff in his pockets walking into the Patriots facility. It looked like he had like an iPad in one pocket. I don't even know what he had in the other pocket. I'm going to have to ask him about that tomorrow. That was, that got a lot of, I said, is this a red flag? And people are like, I can't believe it was a joke. People don't understand jokes. It's like when I said Bill Belichick would be by far the worst college coach ever. It was a joke. He's not going to be the worst college coach ever. It's just funny to imagine him coaching college kids with the way he treats professionals. I'm like fascinated to see how he recruits, like fascinated by that. At any rate, I'll take the Cardinals. I think they're the better team. They're playing at home, although they got to play better than they did against Seattle. The Patriots have been competitive. They should have won that game against the Colts. They had the bye. They're trying to finish strong. But you'd think that the Cardinals would bounce back after 3 straight losses. I think it's a good game. Maybe wishful thinking. As a broadcaster, you're always hoping it's a good game. 24-23, Cardinals get the win at home.
Next up is the battle for Peyton Manning with the Colts at the Broncos.
Ooh, I like that one. Yeah, it's funny. There are probably young people that remember Peyton Manning more as a Bronco than a Colt, you know?
Yeah, I can definitely. I vividly remember both. I mean, my first or second Super Bowl I remember was like his Super Bowl in Indy when they beat the Bears. So I see both.
The whole time I was playing, actually before I was playing and then after I was playing, he was with the Colts, you know? So like the Broncos is just like icing on the cake, I guess. I like the Broncos the way they're playing right now. Huge game for both these teams. I mean, if the Broncos win the game, the Colts are not going to the playoffs, and the Broncos are very likely going to the playoffs. If the Colts win, then you really have the Colts and the Dolphins potentially very much in the mix. Two young quarterbacks. I just feel like the Broncos overall have a better team. They're both coming off of a bye, so you don't have like a recent game to check out. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be lower scoring. I'm going to say go 19-16. Broncos tough this one out.
We've got the Punic Wars with the Buffalo Bills at the Detroit Lions.
Nice. Now, how do you know that?
I've heard of the program, but like the quote came to mind because of your response to a quote, as a completely separate quote than the Punic Wars one. So
Albert Breer. Albert Breer, I love when he posts stuff from the program. Might be the movie I've watched the most in my life, because before all two-a-days, that's what we would watch the night before just to get us pumped up. Gosh, it was awesome. Hit the tight end so hard his girlfriend dies. Kill everybody. Alvin Mack, baby. Love it. Oh, man, it's so good. I'm taking the Bills. I think, maybe the Lions got out of rhythm a little bit, having the weekend off. Maybe that was good for them. We'll see. They're still just so beat up. And I expect the Bills to bounce back from the loss against the Rams. I expect them to fix the issues they had in zone coverage against the Rams, play better. This is going to be an amazing game. A lot of points in this one. Very similar to that last Thursday night game I did between the Packers and the Lions. But this time, the Bills come out on top. Same score, 34-31. But Buffalo gets the upset on the road. The Lions get their second loss. Another underdog pick there, Jack.
Ross's Underdog of the Week.
Next up, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are at the LA Chargers.
Juicy game. I can't believe how many good games there are at 425. And mine's like the only one without really playoff implications. That's okay. Watch mine anyway, because I'm the man. Anyway, so I could go either way on this one. I know on the Even Money Betting podcast that Steve Fezzik really likes the Bucs, but I came away impressed by the Chargers against the Chiefs yet again. The Chargers have put forth a solid performance every week, and I know that there's not that much of a home field advantage, but I'm going to pick them. When in doubt, and this might sound stupid, but the Bucs won a game last week. The Chargers lost a close game last week. When in doubt, law of averages will tell you that flips, right? So give me the Chargers over the Bucs, and I think it's just 23-20 Chargers, if there's even that many points.
Next up, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Nothing like no battle for the Keystone State.
We already talked about Steagles. I mean, he kind of took the thunder early in the show.
This game should be at Beaver Stadium. It'd be sold out in less than a second. Half Steelers fans, half Eagles fans would be absolutely incredible. 110,000 people. I get like goosebumps even just thinking about it. Absolutely awesome. Let's go. It's funny because I said this on the Ross Report. Earlier in the week, I was thinking, like Monday, I was thinking Steelers. But no George Pickens is big. And I actually think the Eagles are going to rally around sort of the off the field drama that they had earlier in the week. I think they had for lack of a better term, come to Jesus meeting on Wednesday, and I think this is gonna galvanize them actually. 23-17 Birds.
Next up, the Green Bay Packers are at the Seattle Seahawks.
Love when we have a good Sunday night game. Love me some good Sunday night game, and that's exactly what the case is here. Whew. I'm going to take the Packers. I think they're the better team. They've had extra time to rest and prepare. They're kind of licking their wounds after that Lions loss. And I think the Seahawks have been playing well, but they've also won 3 in a row. Kind of feels like the Seahawks are ready to come back down to earth a little bit. It's funny because Jordan Love actually reminds me of Geno Smith a little bit. Like those quarterbacks are similar. Those guys throw frozen ropes. They can play. I think there's a decent amount of points in this game. I think it's a fun one. I'm going to say 27-24. Go, Pack, go.
Next up, we move to Monday night, where the Chicago Bears will face off against the Minnesota Vikings in the first of 2 games.
The Minnesota Vikings. It's kind of weird. It feels like a totally random week to have 2 Monday night games, doesn't it?
I feel like it's usually early in the season is when we get those.
Yeah, just a random Monday, December 16th, we're going to have 2 Monday night games. Okay, I'm not complaining. Let's go with the Vikings to win the game. I'm not picking Caleb Williams against Brian Flores and that defense. Be very curious to see how Caleb does against the blitz-heavy team that he's going to face in this one. There will be a lot of people that will make a referendum on just how good Caleb is based upon how this game goes. So, I think there's going to be a lot of sacks unless he gets rid of the ball. He just takes so many sacks. It's not a good look. And for the Vikings, I have not been as impressed by the Bears defense. Brock Purdy shredded them. Darnold's been on fire. Darnold should be a top 5 in the MVP voting. I expect that to continue, and I expect the Vikings to do a lot of the same things against the Bears defense that the Niners did. Kevin O'Connell comes basically from that same tree. So let's go Vikings 27, Bears 17 maybe, or 24-17, something like that.
And we'll wrap things up with our final game with the Atlanta Falcons, who are traveling all the way to Las Vegas to play the Raiders.
So, I guess as we're talking, I still don't know who the quarterback will be for the Raiders. Sounds like it'll be Ritter, but maybe they'll let Aiden O'Connell play with this bruised knee. I don't think it really matters. I mean, is that clearly the worst quarterback situation in the NFL this year? I mean, or at least right now. I think Cousins plays better. I think the Falcons get a much-needed win to kind of keep their season alive at this point. So I don't think they put a ton of points up, but I think it's like 24-17. 24-17 Falcons get the win. How nice would it be to have a chance to watch all these games with your child or grandchild? Guess what? You can. It's called Future Fans. And in particular, futurefans.com/Ross to get 10% off. It's only $49.99, which I feel like is like the perfect price point for a holiday gift. Here is what you're giving whoever you get this for. Maybe it's for your own children. Maybe it's for a friend. You're giving them the gift of quality time with you because it's a storybook-led activity. Get them off the devices. Get them off their iPad or Nintendo Switch or phone or whatever. Get them off their devices. Get them reading a book with you, then doing activities with you or whoever, doesn't matter. And then they will love football as much as you do. They'll sit next to you on the couch and watch the games, which is basically you're giving them a gift for the rest of their life. Futurefans.com/Ross. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to hang out with family and friends, drink Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka and an official vodka partner of the NFL. So many opportunities this year to make football games even more delicious as you watch them. We already had Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Now we've got Christmas, these Saturday games coming up. Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff number 21 vodka, distilled from grain, 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please do not share with anyone under legal drinking age. Smirnoff, we do game days. I got winners, Jack. I didn't forget. I want to give out winners. Just save it for the end of the show this time. How about our Spread the Word winner? And this is Tim Walter, who posted on social media and emailed it to us, his Spotify Wrapped showing us as the number one show he listened to on Spotify this week. I love it, Tim. Email me again now, ross@rosstucker.com with your address, and I'll send you one of these awesome press passes. If you've been paying attention to what games I've been going to this year, you can specify the press pass. If I still have it, I'll send it to you. Same with the sponsor confirmation email winner, Norm Fazikis. He got a box from Future Fans. Absolutely love that. Got the Future Fans box that we were just talking about. He got that for his kids. He's a big Lions fan. So, Norm, yes, I will send you the Lions-Packers press pass. He even included that in the email. Hey, if I win, I'd love to get the Lions-Packers press pass. You got it, Norm. Love that you got one of those Future Fans boxes. Such a cool Christmas gift. And then the YouTube shout out, Frank Panico. Every week on YouTube, youtube.com/RossTuckerNFL, he makes a comment saying he loves when I go on Donnie and Dolly, which is a digital show, and it's on the radio in Vancouver, British Columbia. So thank you, Frank. I see your YouTube comments every week, which is why you're the winner. Let me know what you want me to do with the shout out. youtube.com/RossTuckerNFL. Just send me that email. Other than that, now I think we're done here.
Thanks for tuning in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Make sure to also check out Even Money, Fantasy Feast, and College Draft, all on the DraftKings Network, YouTube, or subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform.
Shout out myfrontpagestory.com. Huge fan of telling loved ones how you feel about them. It's not too late. It's never too late. It's never too late, honestly, until they're gone. So get one of these for them while they're still alive. myfrontpagestory.com, myfrontpagestory.com, backofficescheduler.com, humanheadnyc.com, Sporticulture, Pizza Boy Brewing.